Good morning, my millionaire growth partners. My name is Otis Tucker, the world's first trillionaire. I am creating financial freedom for billions of people across this world. I am creating a million millionaires. I am the greatest leader that ever lived. I am God, people. And most important, I manifest the words I speak. My message for you today, people, is to realize that no one is coming to save you. You know what I mean? You have to save yourself, people. You know, some of the biggest and greatest epiphanies I have is, number one, first of all, you got to realize that the God who you're seeking, he's already inside of you, man. He's not in the sky. He's nowhere else except inside of you. Everybody have the Spirit of God inside of them, who's really just waiting for you to realize who you are and become the Spirit of God that's inside of you, like I've done for myself. You know? The greatest benefit, people, that comes out of that is that when you realize that, you know, no one is coming to save you. And let me give you some practical things, man. Years ago, you know, I remember I was at a really low point back in 2001, and I've had ups and downs, people. I've had, you know, it was a rough patch. I think about 2022 or 23, I think it was. Bottom line is, for about 6 months. And during that 6-month stretch of just dealing with challenges after challenges, you know, it's like I felt like I was waiting for something to save me or someone to help me to save me. And as I'm in that state of being, it's a very disempowering position to be in, because I don't want to say feels hopeless, but it's not moving forward, because instead of you taking the actions that you need, you don't even realize it, but what you're doing is you're prolonging and just waiting. I don't know what for, but I'm just telling you, I've been there. And I had to come to the point, people, where I realized that, look, man, nobody's going to save me. I got to save myself. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like when you come to that realization and that conclusion where you get sick and tired of things being the way you don't want it to be, it comes to a point, people, where you got to get to that point where you're sick and tired, man. And when you're sick and tired of whatever that is, then it will force you to really step up to the plate and realize that no one is coming to save you, and you must save yourself. You know, and it's a beautiful space to be, because when you get to that point, then all of a sudden, just off of you making that decision, people, then what happens is the ideas starts to flow. And not only does the ideas flows, but you also commit to doing whatever is necessary to really attain or accomplish the things you need to do, you know. And it's a very powerful position to be in, people, because at that point you're taking control of your life instead of waiting for whether it's the government or whether it's a significant other or anybody for that matter, man. Instead of you depending on people for your joy, your happiness, your livelihood, your stability, or whatever the case is, you are taking responsibility, people, and realizing that you are the cause in that matter, and that anything that happened to you, good or bad, is 100% your fault. And when you get to that state of being and to that point, then that's when your life really truly changed, because, you know, you realize that the power is in your hands. And at that point, instead of dwelling on your problems, you'll start focusing on, how do I solve my problems, because there's nobody coming to save me or help me. And when you start doing that, people, I promise you, first you start taking the low-hanging fruit actions that you can take that produce some result. And as you do those actions and you see the result that they yields, then it motivates you to be more aggressive and go for more and bigger, better things. And as you do that over and over, people, then what happens is you start finding out that you're developing confidence in yourself, because you're yielding result from your action. It might not even be nowhere near what you want it to be, but the bottom line is that you're yielding results. And as you yield results, it builds on your confidence, people. And eventually it becomes you. It becomes you, where you realize that in life, everything is cause and effect. You take action, it gives you a result. Inaction is also an action, people. That's staying put. That also yields a result, but it yields the result you do not want. And that's why I'm suggesting to you very strongly to always be a person of action. Always be the person that's always challenging yourself and pushing yourself to come up with the ideas of how do you solve your dilemmas, how do you solve your problems, how do you change your life, people, because you realize again that you are 100% responsible for the results that you're having. And you must get to that point, people, where you take accountability and be responsible for whatever your actions or whatever results you're having in your life. Basically, that is your fault. Accept that, own that space, and the more you do that, people, watch your life transform dramatically. You know, really and truly, people, that's the message, man. To wrap it up with a bow tie here, man, again, is listen, realize that any and everything that you're experiencing in your life is that it's 100% your fault, people. And you must get to that point. You can't point finger at nobody. It ain't your parents' fault for the way you was raised. It ain't, lack of anything or nothing that you're blaming right now is the problem. The problem, people, is you. And until you draw that conclusion and realize that you are responsible for the result and whatever is happening in your life, that's when you could change people, is when you get to that point. So I want you to get really busy working on that, And literally that is the message, people. I jump straight into my declaration here. Number one is that you are a millionaire. Number two is that you're married to the person of your dreams. Number three, people, is that you have amazing health and you're in the best shape of your life, people. My prayer for you today is that the Spirit of God will continue to lead you and guide you, man, to find and develop your amazing life, here on this earth, man. I pray that the Spirit of God that's inside of you, man, will continue to lead you and guide you and empower you to really find out and declare and accept and embrace who you are, which is the Spirit of God that I know reside inside of you. I pray, people, that you really explore that and become that for yourself over time. Y'all have an amazing day. We'll talk tomorrow.